Hello and welcome to the 6th annual Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation Sip and Hugs event honoring the Rachel's Hugs program. Traditionally, we'd have this event where we share stories from the year's worth of the Rachel's Hugs program in person. And as sad as we are that we can't be together sharing hugs and laughter with all of you, tonight's all about silver linings in true Rachel fashion. We're looking on the bright side. We're channeling her energy throughout her fight, and we're gonna find a way. So we are fortunate enough to have a team of people who are able to come together this week and put together a video production for you and come at you over the air. So Nate joked this week that we're like the Navy SEALs of foundations now, because this event was originally on a boat in the Puget Sound, and then after that we were at the Mountaineers Club on land, and now we're coming over the air, land, sea, and air. This has become a great event of celebrating the Hugs program, and so we're glad we get to celebrate them with you, even if it's not in person. So before we start, though, we'll have to go through a couple of quick housekeeping items. First of all, we'd like you to join us on YouTube, where you can comment, and we're going to have some questions throughout, some interactions. There's no prizes for those questions. We're kind of like, whose line is it anyway? No prizes, but just points. Make sure you get registered for the Octria auction. You can bid on some items, including a print like the one we have behind us, and plate of cookies like the ones you got with your meal tonight. That auction will be up until 8 p.m., so a couple hours after the auction, or after the presentation tonight. So even afterwards, you can wait and check out some items. And then lastly, Nate and I have to apologize. We were told by our production crew that the shot would be waist up, and so we did not dress for the occasion, although those are some nice slippers. So
comfy.
Yeah, there you go. So without further ado, my name is Alex. I am a board member of the Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation, and I'm also Rachel's favorite cousin.
And I'm Nate, Vice President and Rachel's brother. We are excited to share the 2020 Hugs recipients with you. But before we do that, we'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank those who make this production possible tonight. First off, I want to thank our sponsors, and we want to thank Lakewood Casamia for providing the food and some of the wines that was available for purchase with your registration. So big thanks to them, as well as to Narrows Brewing for providing all the beer that was also available, as well as Alex, head of Vitality Wines, who was able to allow us to have some red wine available for purchase for people as well. Would also like to recognize and thank the Marybridge staff members who work with us continuously throughout the year, and were nice enough to donate some of their time to get some video content for us that we were able to have included in this presentation tonight. And also want to recognize and thank all of you for watching this video and registering and sharing this evening with us. So we're excited to have all of you. We're excited to share all of the awesome stuff that we did over the last year with everybody attending tonight, and that we'll watch it in the future. That's the nice thing about having the virtual stuff, is you can have it available for forever. It's virtual.
Silver lining.
Silver lining, absolutely. Also would like to take a moment to recognize, although they don't necessarily like the spotlight, I definitely want to recognize our fellow board members. They are dedicated and passionate, and they donate a lot of their time to help us get Rachel's mission fulfilled of helping as many people as we can. So I want to thank my cousins Kelly and Tristan Lauricella, Sarah Best, Alex Lynn, Andy Buzzard, who's backstage here, Parker Kreitz as well, my Aunt Janet Buzzard, and my incredible superhero of a mother, and our president, Mary Henley. We would also like to thank all of you again for being here. We could not have a successful evening without everybody that helped make this night possible. So, and of course, we wouldn't be
Most
here.
important one.
We wouldn't be here at all without our founder, our guiding light, my sister Rachel Lynn Henley. So for those of you who don't know, Rachel's bout with cancer began in the fall of 2007. She grew up a competitive athlete, playing basketball, soccer, and running track. So when she suddenly felt an abnormal soreness in her right shoulder, she didn't think much of it, neither did we. Because of that, hearing the words malignant tumor hit us all like a sudden crashing wave. Fortunately, Rachel was equipped with the mental toughness, dedicated support group of friends and family, and the desire to hang 10, as in raising tens of thousands of dollars for cancer research. So Rachel's Relay for Life team was consistently one of the top fundraising youth teams at the Tacoma Relay. And after years of success, she decided she wanted to redirect her ability to make a difference in the world. Rachel was always creative and innovative, never believing that things couldn't be improved one way or another. On the last day of our family trip that we take every year to Port Townsend, Washington, this was in April of 2015, she gathered us all together to tell us about the nonprofit that she was planning on starting. She had done all of the preliminary legwork, identifying research projects, existing organizations, and the types of people she wanted to support. Having gone through diagnosis as a teenager and enduring the battle as a young adult, she recognized that there was a need to bridge the gap between the two age ranges. As we all know, personal experience speaking as well, 19, 20, 21-year-olds are technically young adults, but they could also be considered old kids, for sure. So she wanted to focus on pediatric cancer, but also extend the reaches of her foundation to fellow early adulthood fighters. Being from Tacoma, she also wanted to put her resources right into the local community. Mary Bridge Children's Hospital is right here, and so what better place to start? One incredible detail she also shared with us was that she wanted her organization to be a true non-profit, as in she had no desire to personally profit financially from the fundraising efforts of her foundation. She wanted to be fully transparent about where the money brought in was being distributed. All of these concepts she was sure of, but there was one detail that she hadn't quite hashed out, and that was what to name her nonprofit. So at the end of May 2015, Rachel was abruptly hospitalized after coming down with pneumonia. At this point, she had cancer in her lungs, so pneumonia was a pretty rough thing to try to endure as well. She ended up passing away on June 2nd of 2015. She was 22 years old. And she was surrounded by a huge group of family and friends. It was a standing room only crowd in the hospital room that we were all in, and it was absolutely a beautiful moment for us all to spend one last time together, and it was absolutely something that brought us all closer together than we'd ever been, and we were pretty close to begin, so that was a pretty incredible thing that she left us with. But not only did she leave us with that amazing moment, she also set our course and made our mission clear. And so on August 19th of 2015, the Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation was officially recognized as a Washington State 501c3 nonprofit.
Yeah, so with a little bit of momentum and some of Rachel's guidance, we started working a lot, primarily with the Mary Bridge Children's Hematology and Oncology Clinic, working very closely with Jessica Pabst and Kristen Bishop, who you'll hear from a little bit later today. And we worked with them to identify what their needs were, working with individual kids, providing things for the hospital. But slowly over time, it became clear that there was something missing, something personal for the kids. And so with their help, we launched the Rachel's Hugs program to provide small life enhancement gifts that provide big impact for kids fighting cancer and their families. But they also help put a smile on the faces of the people who work in the clinic. The opportunity to give a kid something that might brighten their day after a hard struggle. So with their help, we launched the program in 2016-17, and in 2017 gave the first Rachel's Hug gift to Pablo, who wanted an iPad for working on his art. Now in the 5th year of running the program with Mary Bridge, we have since granted 85 hugs. So we're thrilled. Despite all the challenges that 2020 has brought, this year's been a good one. We raised more money than we ever have. We granted just as many hugs as we ever have. So again, a silver lining of a year. Some nice stories to come out of the year. So it's hard to share with you about the hug and give you insight into the impact. It might be easier to show you a little video that we created of kids getting their hugs and some of the enjoyment, some of the smiles that it sparks. So without further ado, here's that video.
Now you guys don't have to listen to my so pretty.
You like it?
I love it.
The one that was really impactful to me was Jeremy, one of our young adult patients who unfortunately relapsed with leukemia. And I worked with him for a long time on what he wanted his hug to be. And at first he wanted to donate his hug to another child. We were going to do that, and then I kind of talked him out of it because he hadn't done anything for himself. So he finally said, okay, I know what I want. I want a shopping spree, but I want gift cards so that I can buy my friends and family Christmas presents. So I settled on that. I thought, okay, I'll go for that. So we were all ready to go, and unfortunately he had to head up to Seattle Children's. He wasn't doing well, and he ended up passing away. So that was obviously really difficult for all of us and his family, and we miss him. He was an incredible young man. What I think is so awesome is that Rachel's Hugs kind of worked with me and with the family, and we decided to honor Jeremy's legacy by getting the gift cards to the family, and they were great about kind of breaking them up into smaller denominations so that the family could distribute them to his friends and family, just like he had wanted. So I just loved that during a really hard time, there was still some joy that was able to, be given to this family, and how special for Jeremy's friends and family to get a gift from him after he passed away. So I think Rachel was at work there because she always brings magic in really hard situations, and she definitely did here.
Hi, Rachel's Hugs. I'm Olive, and my playset means a lot to me because when I got it here, it was very fun to play and swing on it and get in my picture swinging. Love, Olive.
Hi, I'm Candace. I am one of the nurses at the Mary Bridge Oncology Clinic, and I adore the Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation. All of them are amazing. Not only do they help our patients, but they help us staff as well. It is so great for us when we're here seeing kids when they're sick or giving them chemo. So we don't get to see them all the time having fun and being joyful, especially with COVID, since they can't be in our playroom. It's so great for us to see on the websites with social media, to see the kids get their playground, and to see the kid who's always grumpy here as we're tackling her to put an NG tube down, swinging on a swing and having fun, or a little boy going down a slide and having a great time at home and being kids, which reminds us what we're here doing for them. They also got us thermometers, which sounds crazy, but for us staff, that was the most amazing thing, because some of our families don't have good working thermometers at home, and we're stuck because we aren't allowed to order any. And Rachel and Henley got us thermometers, and you would have thought you got us $1 million because we are so excited when you have a thermometer to give to families. And the other thing, the Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation just gives us hope. We see a lot of hard things here, both with treatment and family dynamics and issues. And to see, because going through cancer is a very stressful time in families' lives, but to see this family who's gone through the cancer journey, and even with the death of Rachel, how they've gone forward and paid it forward, and to see this whole family come together and live Rachel's legacy and make a difference in so many families' lives, and to see life outside of treatment for families that have gone through treatment is very encouraging to us, and gives us hope for the future. So thank you so much to everybody at the Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation. We appreciate you so much. There's so many other ways, the Christmas party, our water blaster party, all the things that they do. We have so much fun with them. But thank you for taking care of our patients and giving us hope. Thanks.
Hi, everybody at Mary Bridge and Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation. I wanted to say for all of those people who are there tonight to support Rachel's Hugs that it is such an amazing thing. And one of the things that I wanted to point out is some of these kids, when we see them, they're not feeling good. They're miserable. They are not smiling at all. And when they get that hug, those smiles are the most amazing thing. And I love that. And so I don't know if you can call them smiley hugs, but that's what they are. So thank you for all you do for Mary Bridge, for all of those kids that deserve so much.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll start off, we are here with Jessica and Kristen. Jessica, Kristen, you want to tell us what you do for Mary Bridge?
Sure. My name's Jessica Pabst. I am a social worker in the Hematology Oncology Clinic at Mary Bridge, and I work mainly with the oncology patients and their families.
And I am Kristen. I am our child life specialist for the Hematology Oncology Clinic. And I have been at Mary Bridge for about 9 years, and I'm happy to be here to talk about all of the amazing things that the Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation does to support us.
Yeah, thanks for being here, guys. It's we like to support you guys as much as we can, but we also look at it as you guys supporting us. Jessica and Kristen are both not just big helps to us; they're also donors for the foundation, and we appreciate a real nice partnership with you guys. You guys have been real patient and kind with us in this process, and so thanks for being here. So to start, tell us about your year. What are some of the challenges you faced in 2020 that were a little different than years past?
Yeah, I can start. 2020 was a year for all of us, difficult in a lot of different ways. I think one thing that was really different for us was just the inability to meet all of the patient's family members. So we would get to know the patient well, and maybe one parent or caregiver well, just based on the number of visitors allowed in the hospital and in the clinic, but we maybe haven't had the opportunity to meet the rest of the family. And that is a different thing for us. We're used to getting to know the patient and really their whole family. So that has certainly been an adjustment to not have the opportunity yet. And hopefully we will in the future, but that has been a different thing for us, trying to meet the family's needs when we maybe don't even get to know the whole family in a way that we usually would.
It's also been a year of many of our patients feeling really isolated. I think having cancer already creates that feeling for many patients and families, and this year adds a whole new layer. So we're seeing an increase in mental health issues with kids, depression, and just kind of having a harder time in general.
Yeah. And so what about the Hugs program has made that maybe a little easier or different?
For my job, I'm so thankful for the Hugs program because I get to use it almost every time I talk with a patient, especially at the beginning when they're newly diagnosed and they're scared and they don't have a lot of hope or joy to hold on to. So it's such a great tool to just be able to talk about it every visit. It's not just the moment that they get their hug. It's really like all the time leading up to it and planning and going home and talking to their siblings. And we've had kids write reports up and do research, and it's just so much fun, the anticipation. So that has brought joy definitely during this hard year, not only to the patients and families, but to the staff, because we all get to hear about it. They don't just talk to me, they then go and talk to their nurses and their doctors and everyone, and they kind of spread the joy everywhere. So it's definitely been a bright light for us this year.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. Part of the fun of getting something is like the planning and the the whole leading up to it. I like the idea of a kid sitting there doing a report on what he's gonna get or what's gonna be good about it, what's gonna help him. And this year we're all about silver linings. We're all about the things that can bring a little bit of cheer, a little bit of joy. What are the opportunities that this year provided us? So any Hugs experiences this year stand out to you, Kristen?
Yeah, there's been quite a few. I think this year we saw a lot of playgrounds. I don't know that I remember that as much in years past, but I could think of Bryce and Bentley and Olive and Rachel all got playgrounds this year. And what a special thing for them to have right in their backyard in a time when it was questionable on whether or not kids and families should be going to the park and being around other kids. And again, certainly having cancer in general, that is something that our families are thinking of, but adding the concerns of COVID on top of that and not having the usual outlets to be able to run around and play. I just thought that was such a great thing for kids and families to have this year, for families to be able to be in their backyard playground together, for kids to have just a fun outlet right there outside their back door to be able to play. That was definitely a special hug that I got to see and hear lots about this year.
Sorry. Okay, well, we have a
Classic 2020 experience. Join in the fun. Perfect.
Yes,
Jess,
that
what
was a
about
great
you?
example. Okay.
Any hugs stand out to you, Jessica?
Yes, so I think my favorite hugs are the ones, I love the iPhones and computers and all of that, but I think I love the creative ones. So a few of my favorites this year was little George, who's a little 1-year-old who got a fish tank because he loved to go to the aquarium before he was diagnosed. And when he was in the hospital that first month, he loved going to see the fish tanks. So I thought that was just really cute. And I guess he's just loving having that at home. And I also, Yasmin, our teen girl who got a shed built for her pet rats. I love the ones that are just unique and different this year.
That's really fun. Did you guys get to deliver any hugs? You get to deliver the message of some hugs being done? I know we were super jealous this year that we didn't get to participate as much, but the silver lining here is that you guys got to hand out a few more, a little more directly. Did you guys get to?
Yeah, I got to pick them up. I got to see all of you guys, which was fun. I know it was really hard for you guys not to be able to see all of the patients and be at the delivery, but I still felt like the magic of all of you guys there. One that was kind of funny to me was little Halal. He was a little 2-year-old that wanted a laptop so he could work with his dad. And when I delivered it, there was a cute little sloth and then the laptop. And I thought, oh, he's going to just go for the sloth because that's what little kids are going to want, right? And he just wanted nothing to do with it. And he lit up so bright when he opened the laptop, and it was just the cutest thing. So that was a memorable one.
That's fun. Kristen, what about you? Get to hand delivering?
Yeah, I got to deliver Olivia's hug, which was a laptop. She had no idea, one, that it was coming that day, and two, she actually didn't know exactly what it was that she was getting. I think she was kind of going back and forth between a couple of things. So that was a fun surprise for her. She happened to have a pretty rough day in clinic that day, and that was really just a really bright spot for her to be able to have that delivered on that very day. So yeah, it's definitely fun to be able to do that. Like you said, that's not usually the role that we get to play, but you kind of feel like, I don't know, you get to be like Santa's elf or that day to help deliver.
Do you guys talk about them as staff, like before in the time leading up? Do you guys talk about what's happening today, or like I get to go deliver that, or what's going on with?
Yeah, I think the fun part is they're usually right along with us. I mean, with COVID, we don't get as much excitement. We don't get, special visitors, or we don't even, there's not a lot going on like usual. So generally when we're delivering a hug, we have all of the nurses and doctors kind of in the doorway with us, and they're all a part of it, which has been unique, I think, this year.
That's really fun. I like that. Well, anything else you guys want to share with us about this year and what was challenging, or what you look forward to maybe in 2021?
I think one thing for me that was just another silver lining of 2020, speaking of Santa, was our drive-through Christmas party this year. Well, I guess last year. I was really unsure how we were going to make a Christmas party happen. And honestly, it was the Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation Christmas party. Like, the whole foundation came together and just put together the most incredible drive-through party that I could have ever imagined. There was like a wheel to spin of all kinds of things. There was still a raffle opportunity. There were cookies. There were the buddies. There just was so many fun things that we would typically have at our regular Christmas party that still got to happen. We had a line like clear down 6th Avenue for a pretty solid hour, I think. So families waited quite a long time to come through the drive-through party. But we had just countless families thanking us for being able to do that, which really we got to just point right back to the Rachel Lynn Henley Foundation and say, well, I mean, we hosted the space, but they really threw the party. It was pouring rain and so windy, but everybody had a great time. It was amazing throughout the whole party, and afterwards, just people were laughing and smiling and just excited to be able to bring that joy to our families. In the midst of a tough year, it was still a fun thing for our families to look forward to, and truly just a miracle to be able to pull off, which we really could not have done without you guys. So that was a huge silver lining and a big win to end 2020 for me.
Well, again, you guys are rock stars in a world that needs some silver linings right now. You guys are the queens of silver linings. So you guys, really appreciate you and the efforts that you put forth to make this not a year of sadness, but a year of joy and happiness for the kids that are in your clinic. So thank you for joining us, and thanks for sharing your experience. And we look forward to seeing you in person and sharing our own hugs real soon.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for bearing with us. Now we're going to share with you a little bit about each and every one of the 31 hugs that were given this year. Starting first with shopping sprees. One of the most common requests we get is for shopping sprees. You can help your family, you can help buy toys and things that'll brighten up your hospital visits. Another thing that people request shopping sprees for is cosmetics. One of the things that cancer can take away from somebody is their looks, and so we know it was really important for Rachel. She had all kinds of wigs and loved fashion and makeup, and she didn't let cancer take that away from her. So like Rachel, a number of our young people ask for cosmetics and shopping sprees to get new clothes and things like that. So Bergen was an 18-year-old who asked for a Nordstrom and a Sephora gift card to do some of that fashion and makeup stuff. Kelsey, 18, got some Sephora gift cards, as well as a number of stores for clothes and things like that. Marlene got Target gift cards. She could, again, same thing, buy some clothes and make herself feel good, and look good, play good. And then Jeremy, who you got to hear a little bit about from Jessica. Jeremy's wish was, he originally tried to give his wish away. He wanted his wish to be a wish for another kid, or a hug, excuse me. And after some convincing, we convinced him that he could get some gift cards and hand them out. And unfortunately, he passed away shortly before being able to do that. But with some creativity, we were able to get some of his friends and family those gift cards, and he was able to give one final gift to his friends and family. A cool thing.
Yeah, definitely a really impactful story with him, just wanting to give back immediately, and
So much like Rachel.
yeah, 100%. Same age of passing as well. So unfortunately, but there's, all of the people that were able to receive gift cards from him were able to have something they can buy in his memory, and we'll hopefully have for a very long time. Another really popular request that we got this year was really just overall, we had a lot of stuff that was about making the house and home a more fun place to be all the time, because we were all constricted to our houses for so much time. But we actually had the opportunity to build 4 different play sets this last year in people's backyards, and it created a pretty interesting challenge because of the limited ability to visit the homes, and just trying to be as good as we could about not doing as much close face to face, and being as distant as we could to make sure that everybody was safe. But we were able to get 4 built for a bunch of young kids. We had Bryce, who was 3 years old, and we had Olive, who was 5 years old, Rachel, who was 2.5, and Bentley, who was 5. So like prime play set playing on ages. I think the perfect age to have a great play set in your own backyard. So there's some footage of some of those kids and photos as well of them playing on their new play sets and turning their own backyards into a playground. So it was really fun to be able to offer that to the families this year. we couldn't have been able to do it without some awesome partnerships with people who know how to build play sets, because that's not exactly a skill that any of us were trained to do. So we were able to get it figured out and worked out with some great partnerships with local companies. And with that being said, we are always looking for people who have skills and trades and are able to do things like that. We never know what's going to come through with these hug requests, whether it's building something or, you know, who knows what it's going to be. So if you yourself are skilled in that way, or you know people that are, always feel free to reach out to us and let us know if you would like to help us out with that, because it would be a great help to us. All these kids are local or not too far away, so but it's an amazing thing to be able to give them that ability to have fun right there at home, so in their own backyard. We were also, speaking of building things, another request that we get pretty commonly is bedroom makeovers. We've done a lot of those in the past. We got 2 requests for those this year. Again, a challenging request to fulfill because it involves going to the family's house and working with them very closely, trying to figure out what is the right thing to do with the families. So Ashley, who was a young girl, unfortunately passed away before we were able to fulfill that request, which is a unfortunate nature of what we do. That is a part of this battle every now and again. It doesn't get any easier at any point. So we do our best to still support the families and do our best in that mode. You know, having gone through it ourselves, we know it's
timely with the deliveries.
Yeah, exactly, and trying to be respectful of what they're going through. We were able to fulfill Sophia's request for her bedroom makeover, who you saw in the video. Receiving that, she said it looked like a Barbie dream house, which was really great and made us feel like we had done a job well done. And it's, you know, it's usually an awesome thing to be able to get in there and paint the room or get the beds. You know, a brand new bed is an amazing thing to be able to have, and new art and rugs or whatever seems right for that room, working with the kid and the family to get exactly what they want for their room. So definitely a fun one. Looking forward to being able to do more of those in the future when it becomes more of an available thing to ask for.
Another thing we get really commonly is they ask for tablets, computers, iPads, particularly this year, obviously, with COVID, the online learning and the ability to connect with friends and families from your hospital room. That's a big deal. Dylan, that was 11, wanted to watch movies with his dad while he was in clinic. Halal didn't care for the sloth we got him, but loved the tablet so he could work just like his dad. His dad does work from the hospital room, and he wanted to work just like his dad.
Remote working.
Remote working, 2020. Jaden, 17, originally wanted to travel to a recording studio, but couldn't make that happen. So we ended up, she's changed her request to a computer. Jeremy couldn't decide between a computer, Jermaine, couldn't decide between a TV or a computer. He really likes to play the game Roblox, and both would help him do that. So he settled on a TV, but we were able to fit it into the budget to get both for him, so he was thrilled. Kaya was 7, knew right away she wanted a MacBook. She likes to do photo editing, she likes to connect with family. She wanted to also play Roblox, and she also likes to create beats. Yeah, Nate's really good at those too. And then her mom's happy she could do schoolwork. Lilith, 7, wanted to watch some YouTube videos from her hospital room and kids shows, and she also wanted to make silly videos with her sisters. Nate and I used to do that as kids too. So Fun. Masai needed to catch up on some schoolwork. Definitely something we could relate to with Rachel was the challenge of completing schoolwork while constant hospital visits and testing and things like that. So, and then a little bit of a fun distraction. Olivia, same thing, virtual school. And then Persephone, 16, is into coding and gaming. So Persephone, we're counting on you and your ability to code to, figure out the world's ever-changing problems. So hopefully that helps. Evangeline is kind of an interesting one. She wanted an iPad to play games on and watch movies and things like that. But her parents reported that it was helpful because she downloaded the Pokemon game and got her up out of her hospital bed and roaming the clinic looking for Pokemon to catch. So it helped with her therapy on her legs. So, kind of an unintended benefit of the HUGS program.
Yeah, and we're really excited that, knowing how difficult this year was for everyone, kids included, with trying to do the remote learning thing, having a really working computer or tablet was a great benefit to them. So we were happy to be able to help facilitate that in a difficult year for learning. Normally, iPhones are a really big request for us, and this year we only had 3, but also an amazing gift to be able to give the kids to be able to stay in contact with their friends and as well have a distraction while they're spending time in the hospital beds and hospital rooms and the clinics. Just a great distraction. A lot of people spend a lot of time on their phones, and kids are no different. I think kids get better use out of their time on their phones than adults do sometimes. So great to be able to help them have that asset for them. Owen was one of them that was able to get an iPhone and was able to use to stay in contact with his friends and just keep that stream of conversation going. Rick was another one as well that we got. His phone and prepaid plan helped ensure the safety of his family, since his mom is often gone and working and taking care of other kids. So being able to keep everybody in close contact was really an amazing thing for us to be able to help them with, and good for them to have. September, another 15-year-old, all 3 of these kids happened to be 15 and got their iPhones, so going to get a lot of use out of them. And it's just
big deal for a 15-year-old.
It's a big deal.
iPhone.
Yeah, I remember my first iPhone. Changed everything. And then on the idea of making the homes a more playful and fun place to be, you would have thought that we would have had a lot of requests for gaming consoles this year. We actually only had 2 applications that got gaming consoles requested. One of them was for a PS5, and that's actually a 2021 HUG, but we've been working on it for a long time, and PS5s are very difficult to come by. So if you know anybody, help us out.
Actually, could you put in 2? Can we put in a
I'll
request for
take
2? I'll take 1.
Okay. There's a high demand for those, so that would be a great connection. But Owen, a 5-year-old, was able to get a Nintendo Switch, which is an awesome gaming console that involves a little bit more motion sensor stuff as well, so probably also a great therapy item. We also had Tanvan, who was a 20-year-old who received a camera this year, loving photography and having a great working camera like the one that we're working on right now can lead to a lot of amazing things. Maybe she will know some things about video editing.
Yeah, she can help us with next year's presentation.
We might be reaching out for some help on that moving forward. We also had a couple of trips that we were able to get out there. We had Braylon, who is 7, and they wanted to go to Maui, and because of travel restrictions and the nature of the last year, that has been put on hold. And so as soon as things clear up and as soon as they're ready, they will be heading down to Maui to do that. We also, for trips, were able to fulfill the oldest HUG recipient that we've gotten thus far, Jeffrey, who needed a weekend getaway with his wife. He is being treated at Mary Bridge because his cancer is more common in young kids. So he because he's there, he falls into the umbrella of our Hugs program, so we were able to send him and his wife to a weekend getaway to Hood Canal, and they were able to just relax and have a weekend off. So we were really excited to facilitate that for him this year, knowing that we all needed a weekend getaway every now and again. This year was a fun thing to be able to help somebody else do.
Right. Actually, one of two married Hug recipients this year, a first and second, both in the same year. With that being said, one of the questions we had for you was, we didn't reveal all the ages. We were wondering if you could guess what our age range this year. So you got the one. We're wondering if you can guess what our youngest Hugs recipient was and what our oldest was. So my favorite category every year is the other category, the kids with kind of unique requests, something outside the box. George is one of our Hugs recipients. He's very young. He likes fish. He comes into the clinic, and they've got an aquarium there, and he likes watching those fish, so he wanted his own aquarium at home. And in the process, we got to learn lots about aquariums and how to introduce fish into the aquarium.
You'd think it'd be easy.
You'd think it was easy, yeah. Well, then another question for you is, how many trips do you think it took to introduce all the fish into the aquarium? Because each group had to be introduced separately. Colin is 20 months old. He loves toys and has a hard time picking between his toys. So he needs a place to put them, and so we got him a custom-built wooden toy box with his name engraved on the side, and a ton of toys to fill it up. He got a trampoline, a slide, a basketball hoop, just all kinds of toys, trucks, balls, more. Big shout out goes to Dan and Carrie at Holly Hill Furniture for donating that custom piece. Really nice piece of furniture. And then Lucas, well, this is one we did get to do in person. It was outside. He got a one-wheel pint. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
One-wheel pint is one of those little scooters that you ride around. Just got the single wheel. If you can balance on one, you deserve a medal. Really impressive to watch him cruise around on it. He picked it up right away and was cruising around. And then Lyndon, one of our most interesting ones of the year, he wanted a very unique Lego set.
Specific one.
Very specific one. It's over 1,100 pieces. He it was just what he wanted. He's got a passion for it. It was what he wanted. Some people around him asked him over and over, "Are you sure you don't want something more, bigger, better?" And he wanted this very difficult thing. So we discontinued, Lego set. And so again, fortunately, we have some hardworking folks who are willing to hop on eBay and browse the internet for this very unique, very large Lego set. And he's already built it, and it's magnificent. It's cool to see. An impressive young man. That being said, we couldn't get done what we do without the amazing community partnerships that we have. And I don't know if you wanted to talk about those that we.
Yeah, I mean, like Alex said, without these partnerships, it would be very difficult to fulfill a lot of these requests. Something like doing a bedroom makeover and getting a new bed. A new bed could cover the entire budget of the Hug. So we're fortunate to have a great partnership with Mattress Ranch here in Tacoma. They facilitate all the beds, mattresses, bedding, all that stuff for when we do the room makeovers, as well as Miller Paint and Harkness Furniture. They're really helpful on the interior designing and helping us get those bedroom makeovers done year in and year out. So really thankful for them. Lisa Blevins Remodeling was also just instrumental in helping us get through some of the different requests that we had to fulfill this last year. Trilogy Excursions and several other Maui companies are waiting and excited to host Braylon when they're able to get down there. Like Alex mentioned, for the shopping sprees, that often includes a lot of cosmetic seeking, as well as just being able to throw them in for other situations. So Thrive Cosmetics has been really great in hooking us up with some awesome makeup supplies and things of that nature along the way. Like Alex mentioned, Holly Hill Furniture, Furnitex as well, and Aquarium Paradise were amazing in helping us facilitate some of these more unique requests that we got this last year. And one last one that was for a newer hug that you'll have to wait until next year to find maybe a little bit more about, or you can follow us on social media and you'll get a sooner update. But Merit Construction helped us facilitate a hug request that we had just within the last couple months. So without any of them, we would have a very difficult time getting all the supplies and required items to help fulfill these requests, and also save our budgets a little bit in order for us to be able to really maximize the experience that these kids deserve. So we actually have a video that we played earlier that really kind of showed what this program can really do for the kids, and we're very much looking forward to being able to facilitate them personally in the future when that becomes available. But thank goodness we have a great relationship with the gals and the folks over there at Mary Bridge, and we can just hand them the items sometimes, and they're able to find the right moment to make the days. So it's an enjoyable thing for us to be able to do.
Right. Pick a down day and make it happen. So just about concluded here. We'll get you the names of the door prize winners at the end. But today's all been all about silver linings. We talked about Rachel and her ability to find silver linings. And what prompted us to think about that was she made a post in November of 2014, and just less than a year before she passed away. And Nate's going to try to read that post for you so you can see what kind of person she was.
I forgot to grab you your tissues.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll be all right. I got a tie.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so like Alex said, this was something that she posted several months before she passed away. She was very healthy at the time, all things considered, and just goes to show you what type of person she was. She was able to take a bad situation and find the good in it, and did that in all sorts of different areas of her life. But this piece that she wrote really kind of sums it all up. So again, this was November 20th, 2014, which was the 7-year anniversary of her day of diagnosis. So here goes nothing.
Good luck.
Okay, so she wrote, 7 years ago, my life changed. My journey with cancer is not who I am, but has sure as hell helped shape me into the person I am. It is surreal to think of everything I have gone through and all of the amazing experiences I never would have had if it weren't for cancer, and for that, I am truly grateful. I have had cancer for 1/3 of my life. I've been on 11 different types of chemo, had about 2 months worth of daily radiation, 7 surgeries, and too many hospital stays, appointments, and scans to count. But with those not so fun things, I got to go to Germany through Make-A-Wish. I got to speak at a black tie gala. My relay team has raised over $60,000 for the American Cancer Society. I got to walk in a fashion show for Gilda's Club. I got to be spoiled for a day by the Seahawks wives. I got a puppy. I got to meet the Seahawks and amazing people at that organization. I've gotten to meet so many awesome people through support groups and have made such amazing friends. I was invited to be a part of the app C+1, the Cancer Diaries, where I was able to share my cancer story in a book app, and I got to take on the title as a cancer survivor, a title that I hold on to tightly regardless of relapsing. I am so lucky. My whole life I have been a planner. I always have loved organizing things and planning for what's next in my life. But cancer took that away from me. I can't plan for tomorrow because I don't know where I will be tomorrow. This has been extremely hard for me to not have that control. But I learned that it's so important to remember that we are not in control. Once I remembered that God's got me, and in continuing to remember that, I am relieved. No matter how sad and lonely I get sometimes, I have not been alone for a second throughout the past 7 years. I have my family, my friends, all of Team Henley, and my Lord to hold me up when I'm weak, and I am so blessed for that. Life hasn't gone the way I had planned for, and I have loved every second of it. For that, I thank you, synovial sarcoma. Happy D-Day to me. How you doing over there? Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah. I've read that a lot of times, and it feels the same every time. I feel like she's just speaking. She was and remains incredible, and we owe her so much, and the ability to do the amazing things that we do. It's amazing work that she blessed us the opportunity to fulfill. Even with the bumps along the way of trying to figure things out on the fly every now and again, it shows that we're not perfect. We are a group of volunteers that are happy to be doing what we're doing, and it's an awesome experience, and we love all the amazing families we get to meet all the way, all the amazing caretakers and family members, patients, staff members at the hospital, researchers. We really get exposed to a lot of awesome information and opportunities to help that we all owe to Rachel's direction and the things that she wanted to do with her own life. Again, this was not something that she did knowing that she didn't have much time left. She was fully anticipating being the president of this. And because her time was cut short, she left my mom and I as the office of running this thing, but we get to run it with all of our family, and that's a really blessed opportunity that we have, and I never take it for granted. It is just the best work that I get to do in my life.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight and for bearing with us through some technical difficulties. Been a tough year, and we look forward to a better 2021 and a really nice auction coming up, which Nate will tell you a little bit about. Your participation in events like this is critical to our work. Just by attending, you're a help.
Yeah, absolutely. So like Alex mentioned, we have our biggest event that we do every year is coming up at the end of April. It is April 23rd, 24th, 25th, our annual silent auction. We are still accepting lots of great items, so if you have anything that you think would be a great item, you're connected with any businesses, we would love as many items as we can get so we can raise as much money as possible. Other ways to support us would be to follow us on social media. We are on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter as well, so just give us a follow. It's a great way to keep up with the things that we continue to do throughout the year. You can also go to our website and sign up for our newsletter as well and get emails that will keep you up to date on the things that are going on. So follow us along and come on this journey with us.
Yeah, share with your friends too. We love having new followers. That's been one of the great bright sides of this year. We've had lots of new followers. So keep sharing with your friends and bringing them to our events. We can't wait to see you in person again real soon. But until then, keep having fun and finding the silver lining. Take care.